Okay. Okay. Yan. Good afternoon, everyone. For today, I'll be teaching you the basic concepts in acids and bases, as well as an introduction to your organic mechanisms. So I'm not quite sure if I'll be able to finish this lecture. However, I can share you my PowerPoint for this, especially for those who will take your Organic Chemistry 1 courses, okay? Ayan. So let's have it here. So we have actually four parts. So first is your definition of acids and bases. So we'll be mainly tackling yung ating Bronsted-Lowry acids and bases, as well as your Lewis acids. This was followed by by the factors affecting acidity and basicity. So we will explain certain molecular mechanisms which contribute to both your acidity and your basicity. Okay. And we'll also have here structural prediction of relative acid and base strength. So this is based on your uh, leveling effects, okay? So yun yung the governing factor for that. And lastly, we will have an introduction to your organic mechanisms. So again, I'm not quite sure if we can cover this all of this at one single go kasi this is usually thought this ano siya ilang sessions din siya sa college, ano? So, ayan. However, ang goal lang natin today ay mabigyan kayo ng some sort of an overview of this lecture. Okay? So first, let's define what acids and bases are. So ano ba yung acids and bases? So there are actually a lot of definitions, starting from Arrhenius, going to your Bronsted-Lowry, as well as your Lewis acids and bases. For this case, organic chemistry primarily tackles yung ating Bronsted-Lowry acids and bases. Ibig sabihin yan, in terms of Bronsted and Lowry, ang acid natin ay tinatawag nating proton donor. Okay? Let me write. Ayan. Sinasabi natin siyang proton donor. Ibig sabihin, anong ginagawa niya? Nagdo-donate or nag-a-accept ng proton? Sabihin, pag sinabi mong proton donor, it is the one that tends to give off your protons. Pag sinabi mo proton acceptor or your base is the one who accepts your protons. So let's have here a certain example. Ano? Say for example, we have hydronium ion, H3O plus, reacting with a base, O minus. This will yield water plus a water molecule, okay? Water molecule. Okay. So in this case, how do we form or how can we explain Bronsted-Lowry acids and bases from this example? As you can see here, ang usually na ginagawa ko dito, kino-compare ko yung dami ng protons na nasa left side at yung dami ng protons na nasa right side of your equation. Okay? So if you can see here, if I'm going to ask you, how many hydrogen atoms are present here? Ilang hydrogen siya? Sige. Ah, ilang hydrogen atoms yung meron dyan? H3O plus. So ilan?
Eh,
Three, of course. How about this one? Ilan yung present na hydrogen dito?
One po.
One. Okay. Three and one. How about for water? We have actually two hydrogen atoms for here, right? Okay. So, anong definition natin ng Bronsted-Lowry acids and bases? Ang acid ay proton donor. So, pag nag-donate siya, madadagdagan ba siya o mababawasan siya? Pag sinabi mong proton donor, so nababawasan o nadadagdagan yung kanyang number of protons?
Nababawasan po.
Nabawasan. Okay. So if we're going to ask you, sinong acid dito sa dalawang to? Is it H3O plus or is it OH minus? Hmm. Tatlo to, di ba? Tapos dalawa to. So ano nangyari sa kanya? Nabawasan na dagdagan. Okay? Very good. So technically, nabawasan siya. So we can say that H3O plus is your proton donor. Therefore, it's also your Bronsted-Lowry acid. Meanwhile, as you can see here, OH minus has one, right? Isa lang siya. One hydrogen atom. After the reaction, what can we see here? We have actually two. Dalawa na siya. So, nadagdagan o nabawasan yung ating hydrogen? Well, as you can see, nadagdagan siya. So, in that case, it's your proton acceptor. Okay? So, this is also your Bronsted-Lowry base. Okay? So, again, pag nababawasan po yung ating hydrogen, it is your proton donor. Therefore, it is the Bronsted-Lowry acid. Pag naman nababawasan or nadadagdagan rather yung protons, ay siya naman yung proton acceptor. Therefore, it's a Bronsted-Lowry base. Naintindihan? Naintindihan pa? Okay? Sige. What happened to OH po in the reaction? So essentially, your OH minus or your hydroxide ion, it reacted with your H3O plus, resulting to an addition of proton to your OH minus, having or forming water in the process. Okay? So ang nangyari sa OH kasi, yan, it will obtain a proton. Okay? It will obtain a proton from your H3O plus, okay, producing your water. Okay? So, yun po yung nangyari sa ating OH minus. So, nag-accept siya ng proton, therefore, it's your base, and therefore, nadagdagan siya ng number of protons. Naintindihan? Okay, sige, very good. Okay, oops. How about in this example? How can we say that the HCl is your acid, meanwhile your water is your base? So, as you can see here, ilan yung hydrogen atoms na to? Ilan yung hydrogen atoms niya? You only have how many?
One po.
Okay, you only have one hydrogen atom here. Meanwhile, for water, we have two hydrogen atoms. For the chloride ion, we have zero hydrogen atoms. Meanwhile, for our hydronium, we actually have three hydrogen atoms. So as you can see here, guys, if you're going to compare HCl with your chloride ion, what happened? Did it gain or lose or did it gain or lose protons?
Loose po.
Lose protons. So in this case, it's your acid because it's a proton donor, right? So that's your acid. It's a proton donor. So therefore, ang acid natin dito ay HCl. How about if we look at water, okay? From two hydrogen atoms, naging tatlong hydrogen atoms. So in this case, it's a proton acceptor. So therefore, this is your what you call the base. And this is your acid. Okay? So, ayan siya. Yun yung pinakamadaling tandaan niya kasi or pinakamadaling definition kasi ng acids and bases ay yung kay Bronsted-Lowry kasi you're just going to assess sino nadagdagan ng hydrogen and sino yung nag-lose ng hydrogen. Okay? So, I have a specific example here. How about, okay. So, how about in this reaction? Which is the acid and which is the base dito sa forward reaction? Sinong acid at sino yung base? Hmm. Dito, sinong acid at sino yung base? Can you give me the name or okay? Yes, Gabriel.
Acid po yung hydrogen bromide.
Okay. Meanwhile, the base is
Ah, nitrogen po ba? Nitrogen hydroxide.
ano, that's your ammonia, right? It's NH3. It's ammonia. Okay? So that's the common name of that, ammonia, NH3. Okay? So, again, that's correct, no? This is your acid. Meanwhile, this is your base because, again, as you can see here, it has one hydrogen. Meanwhile, yung ating bromide, it has zero hydrogen. So therefore, nag-lose siya ng mga protons. Meanwhile, for NH3, we have three hydrogens here and naging four dito. So therefore, nag-gain siya ng protons. So in this case, the HBr is your acid. Meanwhile, your NH3 is your base. Okay? So That's how you identify from your Bronzed-Lowry acids and bases. However, as you can see here, anong kayang limitation ng Bronzed-Lowry acids and bases? Ano sa tingin mong kulang sa kanya? Ano kaya ang kulang sa Bronzed-Lowry acids and bases? Well, actually, ang limitation niya ay nalilimit siya sa proton transfer. However, later on sa chemistry natin, makikita natin na hindi lahat ng acids ay essentially meron siyang proton. There are certain acids such as ferric trichloride, ano. So in this case, it's also an acid pero wala siyang hydrogen atom. So, limitation siya ng Bronzed-Lowry acids and bases kasi umiikot yung definition niya from the transfer of hydrogen or your protons. Meanwhile naman, sa mga ibang definitions, hindi na siya nagli-limit sa hydrogen only. So, we'll be discussing that later. Okay? Oops, let's delete. Okay? So for this one, can you try to identify before we proceed, which is your acids and base? Of course, nakalagay na dyan, HCl again is your acid and this is your base kasi 1, 0, then this is 2, and this is 3. How about tong number 2, bakit siya acids and bases? Respectively, ano? So in this case, as you can see here, meron siyang 0 number of hydrogens. Ito dalawa. Ito ay 1, then ito naman ay isa. So in this case, 0 and 1, nag-gain siya. 2 and 1, nag-lose siya ng hydrogen. So therefore, your water is your acid and your base is your tertiary butoxide. Okay? So, yan naman siya. So, meanwhile, again, sinabi natin kanina, di ba, ang limitations ng Bronzed-Lowry acids and bases is in terms of hydrogen siya. What if hindi na siya hydrogen? What if, yun nga, FeCl3, FeCl3, BeF2, ganun. How about that case? Ano yung mga yan? Are they still acids? Well, essentially, yes. Well, in fact, guys, yung mga pinaka-acidic na acids, ano, they actually tend to have more metals in the center as compared to your uh, weaker acids. Okay? So, dito naman tayo sa definition ni Lewis acid and bases. So, si Lewis kasi, nakita niya na, okay, limited si Bronzed-Lowry. So, ano kaya yung mas okay na definition for an acid or your base? Well, generalize ni Lewis, no? An acid is defined as an electron pair acceptor. Baliktad na siya, di ba? Ano yung acid natin kanina? Hydrogen donor. Okay? Or proton donor. Ngayon naman, kay Lewis acids and bases, ang acid natin is an electron pair acceptor. So, tumatanggap siya ng electrons. If I'm going to ask you guys, ang acid ba natin, since they tend to accept electrons, are they more positive or are they more negative?
Positive po.
Okay, very good. They're more positive to some extent. So the more positive your acid is, the more acidic it becomes. Kasi mas kailangan niya ng electrons to be stabilized. Okay? Pag naman base natin is an electron pair donor, nagdo-donate siya ng electrons. So therefore, ang ating mga base, they are rich in protons or electrons. Ang ating mga bases. Since ang mga bases ay they tend to donate or they tend to give off electrons, no? So, anong saan siya rich, no? Is it protons or is it electrons? Bases natin, electron pair donor. So therefore, it's
Protons
rich.
po.
Is it still protons? Kasi electron pair, nagdodonate siya ng electrons. So therefore, meron siyang excess amount of negativity or positivity.
Positivity po.
Positivity, okay? So actually, ang correct answer dun is actually, meron siyang excess amounts of negativity. Again, yung acid natin, di ba, it's very rich is very rich of positive charge. Kaya siya nag-accept ng electrons. Ang ating mga base naman, they are rich with negative charge, kaya siya nagdo-donate ng electrons. So in an instance, say for example, we can draw an arrow for acids and bases, ano. Let's say this is in percent negative charge. What a negative charge. Yung acids natin, they tend to have low negative charge. Mababa lang yan yung kanilang negativity charge. Meanwhile, yung mga base natin, sige, drawing tayo ng bar, no? Yan. Meanwhile, yung mga base natin, they are rich in electron density. So, anong gagawin nila? They will share or they will transpose your electron density from the base going to your acid. So, to some extent, they will have equal positivity and negativity charges. So, they are electrically neutral species. Okay? So again, kaya siya nangyayari, it's because meron kang excess amount of something that needs to be stabilized or that needs to be decreased. Okay? So, ang more excess po, when we say that more excess electron density, siya yung may tendency mag-donate. Kasi nga, meron siyang surplus ng electron density. Pag naman meron siyang surplus of positivity, therefore, siya yung may tendency mag-accept ng electrons. Again, ang gumagalaw dito guys, anong tandaan natin? Anong gumagalaw dito? Ang gumagalaw po dito ay yung mga electrons natin. So, pupunta siya doon sa region at which merong mas mababang electron density as compared to its initial state. Okay? So, are you wondering how is this the case or how do they direct? Say for example, bakit kaya nagbo-move yung ating mga uh, electron pairs from more or a region of high electron density to a region of low electron density? Well, actually kasi guys, it's a naturally occurring phenomenon. So, it's similar to the function of it's similar to an analogy na say for example, ewan ko naturo nyo to sa high school yung mitochondria, how does your mitochondria create ATP? Well, essentially, you use a proton pump. Similar sa ating acids and bases, as long as meron kang excess of something, hindi kasi siya nagiging stable. So say for example, your base is in excess of electron density. So mataas ang kanyang potential energy or its energy to react. Meanwhile naman, uh, if you have an acid which is rich in positivity, meron siyang excess na positivity. Ngayon, yung excess positivity na, it would result to its instability. Therefore, kailangan mo matanggal yung positivity na yan. So how do they react with one another? Well, essentially, since we are dealing with the transfer of electrons, the flow of electrons should be in a region of high electron density to a region of low electron density. Okay? So dapat yung ating mga electrons hindi siya manggagaling from the positive, hindi dapat manggagaling from the positive going to a more negative. This is completely wrong. Okay? So, wag niyong gagawin yan when you do organic chemistry. Ang laging flow ng electrons natin is a region of high electron density going to a region of low electron density. So, magkaiba po siya. Again, saan nagpo-flow? Ang tatandaan niyo lang sa org chem ay it's a region of high electron density to a region of low electron density. Okay? It's not the other way around. Okay? Ayan. So for this example, as you can see here, acid or your HCl acts as your acid. Why is this the case? Is because H is directly attached to your chlorine ion, which is highly electronegative, and it is very large. So therefore, the bond between them becomes very weak, making them susceptible for breakage. Okay, so in this case, our electrons, as you can see here, your lone pairs, will attack your hydrogen atom, which is a partial positive. So as you can see here, negative, nag-attack sa positive to delocalize the electrons to your chlorine atoms, making them less positive. Okay? So ano yung kulang kung iisipin natin dito, di ba? Meron tayong dalawang lone pairs na merong excess electron density. Tapos after ng reaction, nung nakita natin, meron tayong isang lone pair, therefore mas naging positive na lang or mas naging negative pa siya. from two lone pairs, naging one lone pair. So, nadagdagan ba o nabawasan ang kanyang electron density?
Nabawasan po.
Nabawasan. Very good. So, in that case, na-achieve niya yung goal niya na mas maging positive. Meanwhile, si chlorine, di ba? Itong HCl natin, meron siyang excess positive charge. Kumbaga, mataas ang kanyang positivity. Ano yung naging end goal ng chlorine? Naging negative siya. So technically, nag-decrease yung kanyang positivity, mas naging negative siya. So in that essence, nagkaroon tayo ng balance between your positive charge as well as your negative charge. Okay, is that clear, everyone? Is that clear? Nagigets yung concept ng acids and bases? Oops. Think. Ay, oh, yan. Yan. Okay. Gets ba yung concept ng acids and bases? Ayan. Sige. So, again, ang movement natin, I constantly remind you guys, no? The electrons flow from a region of high electron density to a region of low electron density, lagging from the most negative going to the most positive. Okay? Yan. So, for summary, ang ating bronzed Lori, they define acid as a proton donor, meanwhile a base is a proton acceptor. Pag Lewis naman, acid is an electron pair acceptor and the base is an electron pair donor. So if you want to prove this, so say for example, yung example natin kanina, water, A, H plus HCl yields H3O plus Cl minus. So as you can see here, nadagdagan yung ating proton sa water. So therefore, it's your base at nabawasan naman yung protons ng ating HCl, therefore it's your acid. How about using the same example, we explain the phenomenon of Lewis acids and bases. Okay? Yan. So your oxygen atoms has excess electron density in your lone pairs. It will attack your hydrogen atom, delocalizing a lone pair to Cl minus. So therefore, ang acid again is a electron pair acceptor kasi nadagdagan ng electron pair ang ating chlorine. Meanwhile, your base is an electron pair donor kasi nabawasan yung kanyang electron density. Mas naging positive siya. Okay? So I hope that the difference between your bronzed Lori acids and bases are clear to you na. Okay, sige. So, dito naman tayo sa quantitative approach to acidity, ano. So, usually kasi when you're dealing with OrgChem, you do not do quantitative analysis naman. Most of the time, you will be tackling yung mga prediction, whether this will be the acid or in terms of the movement of your electrons. Okay? So, say for example, we have a theoretical equation in equilibrium, ano? That's Ha plus H2O yield A minus, this is your conjugate base, and your conjugate acid. Okay? So the equilibrium equation is given as Ka is equal to the products divided by your reactants. So it's also the same as Ka was your product, it's this one. So this is the A minus times your H3O plus divided by your HA times H2O. But since water is not any contributor to the acidity of your certain compound, we actually neglect this one. So we can simplify Ka is equal to A minus times H2O plus over HA. Okay? So this is your Ka expression. Okay? So ano bang ibig sabihin ng Ka expression from our acids and bases? Ito na lang tandaan nyo guys. The higher the Ka is equal to an increase in acidity. Okay? The higher the Ka, it equates to an increase in your acidity. How about if we're dealing with, most of the time, ang expression kasi nito ay in terms of pKa. Pag pKa naman, an increase in the pKa is actually a decrease in the acidity. Why is this the case? Well, I'll just give you a heads up, ano. Well, this is because let's say for example, pH is equal to the negative log of the concentration of H plus. So pag sabi mo pKa, it's the negative log of the Ka. Okay? So technically, pag tumaas ang pKa mo, bababa yung ating acidity kasi mas maliit yung value ng concentration natin or your acid dissociation constant. Okay? So, if you can see here kasi sa ating dissociation constant ng acids, ano, paano siya mag-increase? Do we increase the number of or the concentration of the reactants or do we increase the concentration of your products? As you can see here from this equation, math. Gawin natin yung math nito. No? So, ano mangyayari if I increase the number of or the concentration of the products? Will my Ka increase or decrease?
It will increase.
It will increase. Very good. Kasi nasa numerator siya. Pag naman tumaas ang HA natin, concentration ng HA natin at a constant value of H3O plus and A minus, what will happen to your Ka? Will it increase or decrease? What do you think? It will. It will decrease. Very good. So, ayan, ito yung two main na tandaan ninyo. Pag Ka yung given, an increase in the Ka equates to an increase in your acidity. Pag naman pKa yung given, an increase in the pKa, it results to a decrease in acidity. Okay? So again, para lang siyang pH, di ba? Parang pH. So pag sabi mong pH 5, di ba? pH 5 usually acidic siya. Diba? Acidic. Pag sinabi mong pH 7, neutral, di ba? At 25 degrees Celsius. Pag sinabi mo naman pH 10, nababawasan siya ng acidity, nagiging basic na siya. Okay? So in that case, ito lang yung main na tandaan ninyo for this slide. Yan lang siya for organic chemistry. Yung ganito kasi mga mathematical ay para siya sa mga general chemistry courses. Okay? So that's it. Okay. So again, ito yung sinasabi ko, the stronger the acid equates to a higher Ka and also equates to a lower pKa. Again, a strong acid has a higher Ka and a lower pKa. How about if I have a weak acid? Weak acid. Ano kaya yung Ka ko? Is it high or low? Pag sinabi kong weak acid,
Lower.
Lower po.
lower. Very good, lower. Pag naman sinabi mo, in terms of your pKa, is it higher or is it lower?
Higher.
Okay? It has a higher pKa. Okay? So, baliktad lang siya ng ating mga strong acids. So, yan. Very good. Okay? So, that's the basic concept of your acids and bases. If I'm going to ask you guys, which is more acidic? This is in terms of your pKa. Which is more acidic? The one, compound A or compound B? Is more
A
acidic?
po.
It's your compound A kasi mas mababa yung kanyang pKa values. Okay? Yeah. So let's have here, since we're done since we're finished with our acids and bases definition, let's have here naman several factors that affect your acid and base strength. So let's have yung ating mga general na guidelines to assess this, ano. So a weaker acid tends to have a stronger or unstable conjugate base. Say for example, you're dealing with ethanol, no? Ethanol, okay? Magiging ganyan kasi yung ating conjugate base. So this is highly unstable because it's very reactive as oxygen tends to complete its octet rule by reacting with another element. Okay, so hindi siya ganun ka-stable. Especially those na carbon. Say for example, this is ethane gas producing this one. This is very unstable, making them very strong bases. As long as hindi, ang tanda niyo po dito, as long as hindi po stable yung ating conjugate base, ang magiging result nun ay ah mas magre-react siya pabalik. Okay? So, in terms of your math, say for example, your math, no? Para sa math natin, A minus is your conjugate base. Meanwhile, B is your conjugate acid. B plus is your conjugate acid. It's AB. Okay? So, in this case, guys, pag po hindi ganun ka-stable yung ating base, which is your A minus, no? Kung di siya ganun ka-stable, it will constantly consume your B plus. So it will bring the concentration of your products down, meanwhile increasing the formation of your reactant. So kung isipin nyo lang siya, para siyang ano, no? Kuwari, hindi pa siya ganun ka-stable, pero parang gusto nyo mag, ano, ah, gusto niyang bumalik agad sa initial na state, no? It's because it's very unstable in nature. Okay? So, tandaan nyo lang, as long as unstable yung ating mga atoms or ating mga elements, ano, or ating mga compounds, they tend to react again with the conjugate acids or base, making them just revert the reaction. So, mas mabagal po or mas konti po yung ating form na products over time kasi they are not that stable. Okay? So I hope that is clear. So, ang technique natin, so pag-assess ng acids and bases is actually drawing muna natin yung ating conjugate bases. At the same time, i-determine natin sinong conjugate base yung mas stable. And lastly, we need to conclude that the more stable conjugate base would be more acidic. So, ano yung three steps? We first need to draw the conjugate bases. Second is to determine which conjugate base is more stable. And third is, the more stable the conjugate base is, the more acidic it becomes. Okay? So that's it. So in this case, we have found that an increase in the electronegativity equates to an increase in the acidity. Why is this the case? So as you can see here, yun yung mga pKa values nila, no? Nag-increase yung ating pKa value if yung ating isang atom ay nagiging less electronegative. So say for example, if we're going to compare which is more acidic in terms of your pKa, which is more acidic, is it NH or is it the CH compounds? NH or CH? Sinong mas malakas na acid?
NH po.
Okay, NH kasi mas mababa yung kanyang pKa. It's because pag kasing nag-drawing ka ng conjugate base, and if you can recall our periodic trends, ano ulit yung step 1 natin, di ba? Let's draw our conjugate bases. So first, ito yung conjugate base ng A, ano? Ay, sorry. C, negative charge. For 2, ang conjugate base niya ay N, okay, negative charge. Number 3, ang conjugate base niya ay O, negative charge. Number 4, ang conjugate base naman niya ay F, negative charge. Okay, so from your periodic trends, if you can recall, di ba, electronegativity increases from left to right. Ano bang definition of electronegativity? It's the tendency of your atoms or your elements to attract a bonded electron. Ibig sabihin, gaano ba siya kalakas humila ng electrons? Okay? So if I'm going to ask you guys, anong implication nun sa ating stability? So, if mas malakas po siya ah, humila ng ating mga electrons, ang implication niyan ay mas nagiging stable siya. Bakit? Kasi mas kaya niya mag-bear ng negativity as compared to the atoms that are not capable of being electron negative. Okay? So say for example, you're comparing nitrogen with your carbon. So, mas electronegative kasi yung ating nitrogen. So, ang tendency nun sa system ay actually i-attract niya yung mga electrons. So, pag in-attract niya yung mga electrons natin, it tends to stabilize them more kasi it can bear the charge of your electrons. Kaya niya pong i-bear yung charge na to. Meanwhile, your carbon, hindi naman siya ganun ka-electronegative. So, mas hindi niya kaya mag-bear ng negative charge. Okay? So, ang ruling dito, most of the time, if you're moving from left to right or compounds or comparing acids of the same row elements, lagi pong masusunod yung ating electron negativity. Okay? Kasi for example naman, let's have OH versus NH. Sino mas electronegative dito? Is it OH or is it NH? Ay, sino mas malakas na acid? Is it OH or is it NH?
OH po.
Okay, OH natin. Kasi, again, OH yung ating mas malakas na acid kasi mas kaya ng OH mag-bear ng negative charge as compared to your NH. Okay, is that clear? Gets ba? Gets ba yung concept ng electronegativity in terms of your acid strength? Gets naman? Okay, very good. Okay, so you must remember guys na the elemental effects are the first one sa ating mga criteria. It's the single most important factor in determining the acidity of an HA bond. Dito usually nakakamali yung mga students ko in organic chemistry. Ina-assume kasi nila na, say for example, you have here carboxylic acid. Okay? OH. Tapos meron kang H, H, H. Dumarating kasi sa instances in topics, you will tackle alpha carbon chemistry. So, ibig sabihin, ito yung alpha carbon kasi. This is your alpha carbon. So, usually, mga students, nagkakamali sila. Ina-assume nila na porket alpha carbon chem yung topic, it will always abstract this proton as compared to this proton. Well, in fact, in reality, if you add a base here, if you add a base here, is kinukuha niya ito as compared to this one. It's because your oxygen atom is more electronegative than carbon, hence it can bear more negativity as compared to your carbon. Okay? So, yun po yung usual na pagkakamali dito. Again, ang tatandaan nyo, mga elemental effects natin, sila yung number one priority. Okay? Sabihin, sila yung pinaka sinusunod natin when it comes to negativity. Okay? So, laging sila yung magdedetermine kung whether this bond will be acidic or this bond will not be acidic. Okay? So, I hope that is clear. So, ayan. Again, an increase in your electronegativity would increase your acidity. How about in terms of size? If you're wondering, you have HF, you have HCl, you have HBr, and you also have HI. So, ano mangyayari dito sa ating mga acids and bases in this case? Well, in terms of your HF, guys, yung ating mga halogens, pagpababa ka ng group, ang nag-govern na factor dito yung atomic size and therefore its polarizability. Polarizability. Okay? So how can we explain this phenomenon? Maybe this is a new word for you, polarizability, So how can we explain this phenomenon? So there are a lot of possible explanations for this. First is yung usual na ina-explain dito ay, hindi kasi optimal yung size nila together. So masyadong maliit versus masyadong malaki, making their bond weaker. Okay? Another aspect here is in terms of the conjugate base, which I want to teach you. Say, let's draw the conjugate bases of fluorine, chlorine, bromine, and iodine. Say, for example, you want to determine which of the following has a greater acidity or a greater acidic potential, So, alam natin na yung fluorine Ano siya, mas malaki ba siya or mas maliit yung kanyang atomic radius?
Mas
Ating
maliit po.
mga flora, mas maliit siya. Sa mga halogens, siya yung pinakamaliit na atomic radius. Pwede nyo isipin dito, guys. Dahil maliit lang yung kanyang atomic radius, yung negative charge na binibigay natin sa chlorine na pumapasok din sa atomic radius niya, konti lang yung spaces na ginagalawan. Konti lang yung freedom niya to move. It will either collide, making it more stable, more unstable when it comes in contact with another electron, ano, or the other way around. So you can explain polarizability as the ability of your atom to place one side of it as highly negative and one side as highly positive. So, ang TLDR lang yan, pag lumalaki yung ating atom, mas nagiging or mas able siya mag-tolerate ng charge or ng negativity charge kasi mas malaki yung space na magagalawan niya from your atom. Okay? So again, nangyayari po ito or na-observe mo siya if you're comparing the acidity as you go down the group, pababa siya. Pag ganito tayo, or pa-horizontal yung movement natin ng comparison, it's always the electron negative. Pag pababa, it's always your polarizability. Okay? So, maybe you're wondering kasi, sir, bibigyan ba kami ng instances na i-compare namin yung hindi same row at hindi same column? Well, actually, hindi. Bihira yung magbigay ng ganyan kasi you can't exactly predict which will be more acidic. Kasi, ano ka, parang equal factor lang yan. Pag pakaliwa ka or for moving horizontally, electronegativity. Pag pababa ka or pataas ka, polarizability. Kasi they are two distinct factors governing two distinct properties of your atom. So never nilang bibigyan kayo ng or pagko-compare kayo ng hindi same row or hindi same column na elements. Okay, so don't worry about that much. Then again, ang gusto natin matutunan dito ay if you're going down the group or you're moving up the group, the larger the atom is, the more space it for the electrons to move, therefore it becomes more stable or more polarizable. Meanwhile, pag electronegativity naman again, the electronegativity is the ability of your atoms to attract electron density, making them more stable. Hence, sila yung nag-govern pag maliliit or same sizes or negligible yung difference ng sizes ng ating mga kino-compare na atom. Okay? So, is that clear for everyone? Is that clear? Okay, sige. Thank you. Ayan. Okay. Oops. Okay? So, ito yung sinasabi natin, ano? So, if you want to visualize this, maliit kasi yung fluorine, malaki naman yung ating bromine, making it more acidic as compared to your fluorine as it is more stable. Okay? So, if I'm going to ask you guys, how about compare this one? Which is more acidic? Is it H2O or HF? Which is more stable? H2O or HF? Or which is
HF
more
po.
acidic? Okay, very good. It's your HF. Very good. How about letter B? Is it H2S or is it H2O? Which is more acidic?
H2S po.
H2,
S po.
H2S. Okay. So that is also correct kasi again, ang nagdidiktate naman ay yung size ng ating mga atoms. Okay, very good everyone. Okay? Yan yung ating. How about this one? Can you give me uh, without using the pKa table, ano, can you give me which of the following pairs are, sino yung mas malakas na acid sa kanilang dalawa? Say for example, NH3 and H2O, which is a stronger acid? NH3 or H2O?
H2O po. Ay, wait. H2O po ata.
Okay, H2O, why is this the case? It's because,
Mas nasa right po yung oxygen kaysa hydrogen.
therefore, you are increasing its,
Electronegativity.
very good. So this is more acidic. How about HBr and HCl? HBr and HCl.
HBr po.
HBr because
It's lower.
or lower in the sense na it will have what?
Higher polarization.
Okay, higher polarizability. So this is also correct. How about letter C, H2S or HBr?
HBr po.
Okay, why is this the case?
It's both more right, therefore more electronegative, and lower, therefore more pol polarizable.
Okay, so this is a stronger acid. Okay, how about in this one, in isomers? So technically, aralin nyo naman to sa ating organic chem, ano? So mahaba kasi yung mahaba yan. Hindi siya kayang i-cover ng isang bridging, ano? So let me draw the structure here. Okay, ito yung A natin, ano? B natin, it's okay versus okay. So in this case, for if I'm going to ask you for A, which is more acidic? Is it this one or is it this one? Which is more acidic? Is it the compound on the left or is it the compound on the right? Ano sa tingin niyo? Sino mas acidic? Compound on the left or compound on the right?
Sir, sorry po. Ano po yung elements po na nandun sa compound on the left?
Ay, ito ba? Ito, these are all carbons, no? Carbon, carbon,
Oh,
carbon. It's carbon, carbon, carbon.
I mean po yung nasa right po nung compound A. Rightmost element.
This one? This is hydrogen.
Okay, thank you. I think let yung right compound po.
Are you sure with that answer?
No po.
Okay. So actually, the correct answer here is your left side. Bakit kaya? So if you're going to look at here, nakanining hydrogen atom? Nakay nitrogen. How about sa compound on the right? Nakanining hydrogen atom?
Nas distributed po sa carbon.
Carbon.
Nakay carbon. Okay. So if we're going to compare NH versus CH, sino mas acidic? Sino mas acidic?
NH po.
Your NH. So sino yung compound na merong NH? It's your compound on the left. Therefore, this is more acidic. Naintindihan? Okay. How about for letter B, which is more acidic? Is it a compound on the left or compound on the right? Left or right? Just
On the
CH3.
right po.
On the right. Very good. Kasi again, ang nagbe-bear ng hydrogen dito, it's your oxygen. Meanwhile, ang nagbe-bear ng hydrogen dito, it's your carbon. Okay? So therefore, this is more acidic as compared to your carbon. Okay? So, gets na ang pagdetermine. So far, like, ano siya. This is very introductory, no? So, uh, at least, ito yung mga unang example sa inyo when you go to class para hindi kayo masyadong mabigla. Okay? So, yun siya. How about this one? Which hydrogen in each molecule is most acidic? Sino dyan? Say for example, this A, B, C, D, or E. Sinong pinaka-acidic?
E po.
E, very good. Kasi siya yung may oxygen. How about this one? A, B, C, D, or E?
A po.
A, very good. Okay. How about this one? This is A, B, C, D, or E? What do you think?
B po ata.
Actually, the correct answer is your letter E, which is your NH2. Kasi siya yung nagbe-bear ng, yung nitrogen natin yung may hawak ng ating mga protons. Okay? So that is your exercises, no? So let's have here yung ating last exercise for your elemental effects. So let's have yung ating pseudoephedrine, no? So this actually a medication siya, parang alam ko ay ano to, parang similar to painkillers, ano? So if I'm going to ask you guys, sino or can you pinpoint which hydrogen atom is most acidic? This is A, this is B, this is C, or this is D. Which is
A,
more acidic?
A po.
A, very good. Because again, si oxygen po yung nagbe-bear ng ating negative charge. Very good. Okay, sige. So, let's now tackle yung ating mga inductive effects, ano? Yung ating inductive effects. So, anong ibig sabihin ng inductive effect? Well, essentially, when you go to organic chem, ang sinasabi natin sa inductive effect, it's the tendency of your atoms to attract electron density. Similar siya sa electronegativity, but it doesn't require na bonded dapat yung ating mga atoms. So, say for example, let's draw the structure of your acetic acid or vinegar. Okay? And meron din tayong tinatawag na trifluoroacetic acid. Trifluoroacetic acid. Okay? This is F. Sorry. This is your F. This is F. And this is F. Okay? So if you can see here, this is carbon, right? Which is more electronegative, carbon or fluorine?
Chlorine po.
Fluorine. So therefore, in terms of your electron density, mas skewed yung ating electron density. So, what do I mean by this? Say, for example, it replaces by negative charge and another negative charge, right? Yan. So, in this case, your fluorine atoms would exert a force at which this negative charge will be highly stabilized. Ibig sabihin, itong mga negative na charge na yan, i-attract yan ng fluorine natin. Kasi nga, highly electronegative yung fluorine natin. The way that they do that is actually because of these connections. So say for example, this is a CF bond, but this is carbon and this is fluorine. So since mas electronegative yung fluorine natin, they will have partial negative. Ang carbon natin, they will have partial positive. But since ang carbon natin ay kumukuha din ng electron density from another source, this will also become partial positive. Ibig sabihin, kukunin niya yung electron density papunta sa carbon. And at the same instance, this becomes a donation to some extent. Parang kukunin yan, i-attract niya yung negative charge na yan due to the subsequent partial positive charges. Ganyan po nangyayari ang ating inductive effect. It must be noted that the inductive effect is both a function by your quantity and your quality. So, pareho siyang ganyan. So, what do I mean by quantity? Ibig sabihin, say for example, dalawa lang yung fluorine natin, ano? Fluorine. So, sorry. Dalawa lang yung fluorine natin. Ba't ko ba nidrawing yung hydrogen? Ayan. As compared to your tatlong fluorine, F, 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 O minus, mas malakas po mag-inductive effect yung tatlong fluorine as compared to your dalawang fluorine. Again, it's because of the quantity. Mas madami kasi ito. Yan. How about the quality? Well, actually, say for example, we have bromine. Okay? Bromine, okay, O minus, versus fluorine, O minus. Which do you think has a higher acidity? Is it the bromine one or is it the fluorine one?
The bromine one po.
Bromine po.
Bromine one?
Pero,
Sino mas
pe-
mataas ang inductive effect? If I'm going to ask you. Sino mas mataas ang inductive effect? Di ba inductive effect is related to, is it the size or is it the electronegativity? Ang inductive effect, yung sinasabi ko sa inyo kanina, is it based on the size or is it based on the uh, electronegativity? It's actually based on, it's based on what? Yung ating inductive effect. It's based on your electron negativity. Ibig sabihin yan, wala tayong when it comes to inductive effect, guys, tapos na yung istorya nung atom effects kanina. Kasi hindi naman na siya yung direct siyang naka-attach dun sa ating hydrogen atom. No? So dito, ang kinoconsider natin, sinong mas electronegative? Eh alam natin, guys, na mas electronegative yung ating fluorine as compared to your bromine. So, kung wala tayong pakialam sa size, wala tayong pakialam sa sinong naka-attach sa hydrogen, therefore, ang factor lang natin ay electron negativity. So, in this case, the correct answer or the more acidic compound, if I'm comparing this compound on the left and compound on the right, it's actually the compound on the right. Kasi mas electronegative na yung ating fluorine. Okay? Naggo-govern lang po yung size ng ating mga atoms if sila yung diretsing or sila yung diretsyong naka-attach sa hydrogen. So, kuwari HBr versus HF, sila kasi yung diretsyong naka-attach sa hydrogen. Kaya yun yung nagmamatter, guys. Yung kanilang size. Pero pag hindi na sila yung diretsyong naka-attach sa hydrogen natin, wala nang factor yang polarizability na yan. Ang nag-govern na ruling dyan is your inductive effect in terms of your electron negativity. Okay? Is that clear? Do you have any questions so far? Okay. Is this clear? Can you give me a thumbs up, guys? Guess niyo kung kailan... yes, Gabriel, you have a question?
Sir, sorry po. Yun po ba
Ay.
yung minention niyo po kanina na pag mas maliit po mas marami pong space para umikot po yung electron?
That is in terms of your polarizability. Pag mas maliit kasi yung space ng ating mga electrons, diba napansin natin kanina, mas mababa yung acidity ng fluorine as compared to your bromine. That is because mas konti yung ginagalawang space ng negative charge sa fluorine mo as compared to your bromine. That is again exhibited if your halogens or your fluorine and bromine is directly attached to the hydrogen atom. Pag hindi na siya directly attached to the hydrogen atom, ang pinaka-governing factor ay electron negativity. Naintindihan?
Medyo lang po dahil ang pagtingin ko po nung electronegativity ay kung nasa right po siya, pero magkakolong pong fluorine per bromine.
Okay. I get your confusion. However, to clarify that, kanina kasi yung mga examples natin, kung papansinin mo yung mga example natin kanina, binabago natin kung saan nag attach yung hydrogen, right? So, say for example, again, we're comparing HBr with HF. Pag yung ating Br at ating fluorine ay directly naka-attach sa hydrogen atom, ang kinoconsider po nating ruling ay yung una. Ibig sabihin, yung more polarizable molecule, siya yung mas magiging acidic. Okay? However, if hindi na nakadiretsang naka-attach yung ating hydrogen atom do sa ating mga halogen, ang governing effect na doon ay yung ating mga electron negativity. So, this is given by our example here. Nakikita nyo, sino bang diretsang naka-attach sa ating hydrogen? It's not your bromine, it's not your fluorine, rather it's your oxygen atom. So, pag diretsang naka-attach po sa ating oxygen atom, ang tendency niyan guys ay pareho silang oxygen naka-attach. So, mag-govern ng kanilang acidity ay ano tong naka-attach na iba sa kanila. So this is a factor of now your electronegativity as compared to your polarizability. Okay? So that's the difference between the two. So maybe before we proceed, we can have a 5-minute break, no? So I'll just check then since merong earthquake drill dito, okay? So ayan. So let's have a 5-minute break. Let's resume at 2:18. Okay, so I think we can resume our discussion, ano? So again, I hope that clear yung ating kanina difference between your when you're going to assess polarizability and electronegativity and when you're using your inductive effects. Okay? Oops, that's oops. So, hmm. Can you still see the writings on the screen? Can you still see them? Or hindi nyo na nakikita?
Kita pa po.
Kita pa rin. Oops, I didn't think that. Let me stop sharing, ano? Okay. Ayan, parang nag-error lang. Okay, so, again, ito yung visualization ng ating inductive effect, ano? Wala ng additional electronegative atoms that can stabilize the conjugate base if puro carbon lang siya. Meanwhile naman, pag meron ka mga night fluorine na yan, fluorine na yan, we can actually stabilize them greatly. Kasi merong presence ng mga fluorines. Kaya it makes your compounds more stable and hence more acidic. Okay? So the inductive effect is the pull of electron density through the sigma bond caused by the electronegativity differences of your atoms. Ito yung sinasabi natin kanina, the more electron withdrawing groups, the more stable the conjugate base is, therefore it becomes more acidic. Okay? So the more electronegative the atom and the closer it is to the site of the negative charge, the greater the effect. So say for example, ano ibig sabihin yan? Say for example, let's have uh let's have fluorine. Oops, ba't ba laging hydrogen na drawing ko? Fluorine, OH versus fluorine, OH. Okay? So, mawari ganyan siya. Ay, teka, parang same lang siya. No, actually, no. Ayan. This is H2. This is H3C. Okay? So, ay, teka, parang same nga lang. Okay, let's have another example. Parang same lang siya. Okay. Say for example, ito, habaan natin yung carbon chain. OH, nandito yung F. Tapos versus OH, nandito yung F. Ba't ba H? Okay, F. Okay? So in this case, if I'm going to ask you guys, di ba, sabi sa atin, the closer it is to the site of the negative charge, the greater the inductive effect. So in this case, which of the following has a greater inductive effect? Is it the left or is it in the right?
The
Left
left
po.
po.
Left. Very good. Kasi mas malapit siya dun sa OH natin. So if I'm going to ask you which is more acidic, therefore, is it the left or is it the right?
Left.
Left pa rin kasi mas malapit siya dun sa site of your negative charge. Okay? Very good. So can you try to answer this one? Which compound in each pair is a stronger acid? Okay? So let me draw this one. Ano? This is Cl. Ay, okay? So which is more electronegative? Is it the compound on the left or the compound on the right? Which is more electronegative? More acidic. Is it the compound on the left or the compound on the right?
The right po.
Okay, very good. This is the compound on the right. It's because, again, mas electronegative yung ating fluorine. Okay? How about, how about ito? How about letter B? So that would be, okay, versus, okay, which is more electronegative? This is the compound on the left or the compound on the right?
Left po.
Left. Kasi anong factor to? Because,
Merong isa pa kong, ano pong tawag doon? May isa pa kong parang stop dun sa chain bago umabot dun
okay,
sa OH sa kabila.
okay, so mas malapit kasi yung Cl doon sa OH natin as compared to the other one na meron pang pumapagitna na carbon atom. Okay? So ganun lang naman yung logic niyan, no? So I hope that is clear. Okay? So how about in terms of your resonance effect? So ang goal lang natin this afternoon, guys, I think masyado natin marami, ano? Hanggang doon tayo sa sa lahat ng factors affecting. But I'll be sending this PowerPoint to you guys so you can study them when dumating na yung ating organic chemistry. Ano, ibig sabihin, when you tackle organic chemistry. Okay? So for resonance, when does the resonance occur? So this occurs primarily when you are having pi bonds. So have you ever heard or before yung ating mga pi bonds na ano nyo na ba to? Na topic nyo na to before, yung mga pi bonds natin. Pi bonds and sigma bonds? Or, hindi pa. Okay. So, ang TLDR lang naman ng mga pi bonds, they are the ones that exist in your double bonds or your triple bond. Okay? So, yun yung ating mga pi bonds. Ito yung pi bonds. Yan. Tapos yan. Sa double bond naman, itong yang isang yan is your pi bond. So, our pi bonds are actually, ano siya, marupok siya. No? Ibig sabihin, ano siya, mabilis siyang maakit sa iba. Okay? So, yung ating mga pi bonds, they are essentially, constantly, pwede mo siyang i-move from one side to another. It is because your pi bonds are actually fluid na, no? Parang ano sila, di mo sila mapipinpoint or di mo sila mapipigilan na gumalaw once they have conjugated parts. So what do you mean by conjugated parts? So say for example, okay? Okay? So these pi bonds are constantly moving towards this and towards this side. So ibig sabihin, it can also exist, our molecule can also exist as ganyan, tas negative charge dito. Okay? So, they are constantly moving from one place to another because yung kanilang mga orbital ay nag-overlap. Pwede mo silang madaanan, no? Pwedeng dumaan-daan. So, one example of this is yung pinakasikat na element natin. Say, for example, yung ating benzene. This is your benzene, right? So, yung benzene natin, yung mga double bonds niyan, they constantly move around sa ating ring, making our benzene highly delocalized. Pag sinabi mo kasing delocalized, ito po yung gumagalaw yung ating mga pi bonds or ating mga pi electrons, delocalized. Pag sinabi mong localized, sila naman yung mga hindi gumagalaw yung pi electrons. Okay? So, in this case, when does the resonance occur? It's in when you have the presence of your pi bond. So, dapat meron kang at least double bonds or meron kang triple bonds. And number two, when two or more Lewis structures can be drawn for the same arrangement of atoms. So, ito yung ginagawa natin sa number two. As you can see here, same lang naman yung ating, same lang naman yung ating, tawag dito, same lang naman yung ating Lewis structure for left and right. Pareho siya ng number of electrons. Ayan, nagbo-move lang siya in your system. So just remember that for resonance, mahaba kasi itong topic na to, no? For resonance, you are actually just moving your pi electrons without making no bonds or breaking pre-existing bonds. It's just a simple movement of your electrons. Okay? So, yan. So, how does this affect your acidity? Well, essentially, it was found that resonance actually stabilizes your molecule. So, as long as merong resonance na nag-exist sa ating system, it becomes more stable. Okay? So, if wala pong resonance sa system natin, it becomes less stable. So, say for example, in this case, we have ethanol and acetic acid. Why is it the case that the pKa value of acetic acid is four times less than your, or approximately four times less than your uh, acidity of your ethanol? Why is this the case? It's because, guys, yung ating ethanol, they are not conjugate or they are not stabilized by resonance. So yung resonance kasi dito, say for example, let's draw it ano, ethanol, this is the structure of ethanol. So therefore, ang conjugate base ng ethanol ay O minus. Pag naman acetic acid, OH, ang conjugate base niyan ay O minus. Okay? So for your first part, ano, yung pinakauna mo, dito, wala siyang resonance kasi wala ka naman nag-exist na pi bonds. It can't move that way. So it doesn't undergo resonance. Wala siyang extra stability. Okay? Wala siyang extra stability. How about etong baba, meron siyang resonance structure kasi meron ka nag-exist na double bond dito. So therefore, it has a more stable or more stability. Okay? So, kagaya po ng inductive effect, ang ating resonance naman ay kapag mas madami kang resonance na madodrawing or mas madami kang resonance na mangyayari, the more stable your compound becomes. So, the less resonance na nangyayari, the less stable your compound is. Para lang siyang inductive effect. Yung kanina kasi, electronegativity yung usapan. Dito naman sa resonance natin, movement ng pi bonds. Okay? So, if you're wondering why is this the case, bakit kaya pag gumagalaw yung ating mga electrons, they tend to be more stable? Well, essentially, it's the same logic. As long as meron nagagalawan yung ating mga electrons sa system natin, they become more stable in nature. Okay? So, if they become more stable in nature, mas nagiging acidic yung ating compound. Okay? So, for this one, as you can see here, the negative charge is only localized on the oxygen atom. Hindi siya sinishare. Para lang siyang, 'di ba kunwari may tropa ka, you have a problem, no? So, if you started sharing your problem or you started sharing what you feel, yung burden mo, right? Yung like the mental burden actually decreases, no? It's the same as with your acids and bases. So the more localized your negative charge is, the less stable it becomes. Pag sinishare mo siya with other neighboring atoms, the more stable it becomes kasi mas marami nagbe-bear ng negative charge para silang bayanihan, guys. So yung mga instead of one just bearing the burden, lahat ng atoms natin binibigyan natin siya ng workload. Tulong-tulungan sila mas maging stable yung ating compound. Okay? So that's the resonance factor. So again, the more resonance structure, the more stable it is. So dapat mas madami yung ating mga resonance structures, mas naging acidic yung ating compound. So as you can see here, we have several resonance structures for acetic acid, making it more acidic as compared to your normal na alcohols. Okay? So again, ang ibig lang natin sabihin dito, the more resonance equates to more possible structures and therefore the charge is spread out more. Mas dispersed yung kanilang charge. Mas diluted yung charge per atom. Kasi nga, sinishare nila yon. So therefore, it will equate to a stronger acid. Ayan. So can you try this one? Okay. So the CH bond in acetone has a pKa of 19.2. Draw the two resonance structures for its conjugate base and explain why acetone is much more acidic than propane. Well, essentially, sasagutin na lang natin na to. So acetone actually looks like this. Yung mga conjugate base ng ating acetone is this one, negative dito, as well as this one. Okay? So, mas nagiging acidic pa yung ating acetone as compared to your propane. It's because your acetone, once deprotonated, can actually exhibit resonance. So as long as meron siya nangyayaring resonance, it becomes more stable, it becomes more diluted in terms of your negative charge. Okay? Again, di nyo kailangan maintindihan ng yung concept ng resonance ng isang bagsakan. No? Since ituturo din naman to when you go to your classes in organic chem. Basta tandaan nyo lang, gusto ko lang mapulot ninyo dito, pag mas marami yung resonance structures or pag mas okay yung flow ng electrons from your resonance structures, it becomes more or it becomes highly stable. Okay? So, yan po yung explanation natin for your resonance. Okay? Yan. So again, if you're going to compare ethane, ethylene versus your acetylene, meron naman tayong ibang nag exist na factor dito. Tapos na po tayo sa resonance. Again, ang resonance natin ay yung movement ng pi electrons. Meanwhile, meron tayong tinatawag na hybridization effect. Ito yung pinakamaliit na ambag in terms of your acidity, yung hybridization effect. Ano ba muna yung hybridization? Well, hybridization is actually a phenomenon at which there is a mixing between your S and P orbital. So, maraming details yan in terms of your energy diagram. Ano? So, pero ang ano lang yan, ang TLDR lang yan, essentially, nagkakaroon tayo ng mixture ng orbitals. Pag nagkaroon ka kasi ng mixture ng orbitals, guys, ang tendency yan ay they tend to be more equal in terms of your energy. So, therefore, mas okay yung kanilang sharing or flowing of your energy. Okay? So in this case, how does your hybridization affect the acidity of your compounds? Well, essentially, meron kasi tayong tinatawag na sp3, sp2, at sp. Okay? Essentially, pag sp3, they are single bonds, Ang sp2 they are double bonds. And pag sp naman, they are your triple bonds. Okay? So, ang tatandaan nyo guys, pag single bonds siya, malayo-layo pa yung atomic radius na sa isa't isa. So, ibig sabihin yan, yung, kunwari, this one, this is your carbon atom bonded to another single bonded to another carbon atom. Mahaba po, pag kasi mga single bonds to guys, mahaba yung kanilang bond length. So technically, mas malayo sila doon sa nucleus. Sabihin, kuwari, ito yung nucleus niyan, ito yung nucleus na itong isa, mas malayo sila from one another. Kaya ang nangyayari dyan guys ay mas nagiging less stable yung ating mga conjugate bases. Mga conjugate bases. Meanwhile, pag sinabi mong sp2, pag may double bond ka na dyan sa carbon-carbon na yan, mas lumalapit yung kanilang nucleus with each other. So, ano nangyayari dyan? Mas naging stable yung ating conjugate base. Tas same as with your triple bond. Okay? So, why is this the case? Bakit kaya ganyan na-observe natin phenomenon? Dahil nag increase yung, ibig sabihin, mas lumalapit, nearer to nucleus when you're moving from sp3 to sp2 to sp, mas lumalapit po siya sa nucleus. Okay? Pag sp3, malayo siya. Pag sp2, medyo mas malapit siya as compared to sp3. Pag sp, siya yung pinakamalapit na hybridization with the nucleus of another atom. So, bakit siya important sa mga acids and base? Again, kasi yung ating nucleus, they contain positive charge, right? So, pag may negative charge ka due to deprotonation or due to acid-base reactions, ano mangyayari doon sa negative charge? Once it becomes closer to the nucleus, is it more stable or is it less stable? Pag lumalapit yung negative charge sa nucleus natin, does it become more stable or less stable? What do you think? Guess.
More stable.
Very good, more stable. It's because kasi positive charge yung ating nucleus. So, the closer our negative charge is, the more diluted the negative charge becomes kasi ini-stabilize siya nung positively charged nucleus mo. Okay? So, ang trend natin dito, if you, mas in terms of increasing acidity, pinakamahinang acid or yung sp3, siya yung pinakamahinang acid, followed by sp2, followed by sp. Okay? Acid strength. Again, it's because mas malayo yung distance from the nucleus ng mga electrons sa sp3 as compared to sp2 and as compared to your sp. So, tandaan niyo na lagi, ito po siya. Pag sp3 natin, siya yung pinaka-mahinang acid, followed by sp2, then followed by your sp. Okay? So, ganyan lang siya. So, this is again because of your increase na ating S character per hybridization. Lumalapit po yung ating compound sa nucleus natin kasi mas nagiging stable na siya. Okay? So, that's our explanation for your hybridization. So again, the more S character, the more willing we share our electrons with the nucleus, So the more stabilized the negative charge is. Okay? So yun po yung ating factor. So in this case, if we're going to compare, guys, which is more acidic, is it left or right? Sino mas acidic? Yung nasa eto or yung eto? Which is more acidic? What do you think? Again, eh, sp3
The left
Right
one
po.
po.
yung nasa left natin. Kasi again, sp3 is single bond. Ang ating mga sp2 ay double bond. At ang ating mga sp ay triple at triple bond. Okay? So in this case, nakita natin triple bond ito. So therefore, in terms of our arrangement kanina, ito yung pinaka-acidic. Okay? So ito ay mas mahinang acid as compared to your compound on the left. How about Letter B, which is more acidic? Is it the compound on the left or compound on the right?
The left po.
Left pa rin kasi again, sp2 yung nasa left natin. This is sp2, no? This is sp3. Kasi nga again, apat yung bonds niyan. Ito, tatlo lang yung bonds niya. At meron siyang existing na double bond. Therefore, this is more acidic, making it the correct answer. Okay? So, left po yung mas acidic. Okay. Ayan. So, can you try this one? Yan. Kahit itong 2.24 na lang, guys. Can you try 2.24? Letter A. Rank the compounds in each group in order of increasing acidity. Let's say 1, 2, and 3. Sino pinaka-acidic? Anong arrangement natin sa letter A? Which is the least acidic? What do you think? Which is the least acidic?
1 po.
Combination na to lahat na. Okay? 1 followed by
3.
3. Very good. Followed by your number 2. So, tama kayo. Kasi again, anong factor to? Anong factor yung kinoconsider natin dito? It's your
Electronegativity po.
electronegativity. Electronegativity. Kasi again, same row yung ating oxygen and yung ating nitrogen. Tapos sa kanila, direct lang naka-attach yung ating mga hydrogen atom. How about letter B? Same arrangement, 1, 2, 3. Ano kayang arrangement na sa acidity? Sino ang pinaka-least acidic?
3.
Okay, very good. It's your 3. Followed by
2 po.
2. Very good. Followed by, of course, your number 1. Kasi again, anong factor natin nakita dito? Meron bang resonance ito? Itong number 3, may resonance pa siya?
Wala po.
Wala. Very good. Kasi again, it's just a single bond compound. Ano? How about yung ating 1 and 2 dito? Meron siyang resonance kasi carboxylic acid na siya, right? Carboxylic acid na siya. So therefore, it has resonance. Pero anong difference nito? No, 1 and 2. Why is it that 1 is more acidic than 2?
Presence po of bromine.
Very good. It's the presence of the bromine and what anong factor to? It's your letter I. What do you call the I? It's your
Inductive effects.
inductive effects. Very good, everyone. Yan. Okay? How about for letter C? Erase ko lang ha, para clear sa. How about letter C? 1, 2, or 3? Hmm. Which is the least acidic?
3 po.
Is it 3? What do you think? Sige, hindi siya 3. Ano kaya yung pinaka-mababang acidity?
2.
2.
Okay, very good. 2 followed by
1.
1 and of course your number 3. Why is this the case? Again, guys, kanina po naka-attach yung hydrogen natin sa 2. It's your sa carbon siya naka-attach, right? Sa 2. How about sa 1? Kanina naka-attach kay nitrogen, right? This one. How about kay 3? Kanina naka-attach kay oxygen, so therefore siya yung pinaka-acidic. Naintindihan? Okay? So I guess before we end, pinaka-last na talaga na is 2.25, no? Tayo natin sagutan to 2.25. I-determine lang natin which proton of the following drugs is the most acidic. Okay? So for this one, letter A, sino kaya ang pinaka-acidic? Ito na lang, compare na natin. Is it A or is it B? Hmm. Or sige, sabihin natin C. O yan. Sino ang pinaka-acidic sa tatlong tinukoy ko? Is it A, B, or C?
A po.
Very
AC.
good. It's A because of two factors. First is your
H and
electronegativity. Yes, very good.
resonance.
And resonance. Very good. Okay, so that's the two factors that govern our acidity of letter A. How about for letter B? Say, for example, this is A, this is B, This is C and this is D. Sino kaya ang pinaka-acidic dito? Sino ang pinaka-acidic? A, B, C, or D?
C.
Okay, very good. It's your letter C kasi why is this the case? Again, anong pinaka-importante sa lahat ng tinuro ko? Kung sino yung atom na nagbe-bear ng hydrogen. Sino nagbe-bear ng hydrogen dito? Say, for example, sa A, sino nagbe-bear ng hydrogen? It's carbon. Sa B, sino nagbe-bear ng hydrogen? It's your carbon. Sa D, sino nagbe-bear ng
Ay,
hydrogen? It's your carbon.
oxygen.
Ay, sa C pala, sorry. Sino nagbe-bear ng hydrogen sa C? It's your
Oxygen.
oxygen. So that will be the most acidic. How about for the last one, last example, no? So which of the following do you think? Hmm. Sino kaya dyan? Ang pinaka-acidic. Say, for example, this is A, this is B, this is C. Sino sa tatlong pinaka-acidic?
B po.
It's your letter
B.
B. Very good. Okay? So siya yung pinaka-acidic. Again, it's because of your OH holding the hydrogen atom. Okay? So that would be the end of our lesson for this afternoon, no? Since madami naman na kayo natutunan din from this. Usually kasi, ang tinatanong yan, if you're wondering, usually kasi na binibigay sa mga organic chem question, ay yan, identify kayo ng ano yung acids and bases. Tapos, determine sinong pinakamalakas na acid, pinakamalakas na base. So, tandaan niyo lang yung apat na factor na tinuro ko. Yung yes, this will be our last synchronous session, ano? So, I advise everyone, if you're dealing with acids and bases, you follow this one, yung Rio. Okay? So, it's always the atom first, siya yung pinakamahalaga, sino nagbe-bear nung hydrogen atom, followed by sinong may resonance, followed by sinong may inductive effect, and yung ating orbital. Okay? Si sp3, sp2, or sp. Okay? So, Aryo yung ating sundan. Again, your atom is the most, siya yung pinakamagdidikta ng acidity, followed by resonance, followed by inductive effect, and your orbital. So, lagi nyo tignan muna. Check nyo muna kung sino nagbe-bear ng atom. So, pag nalaman nyo na, or na-differentiate nyo na meron silang, usually kasi yan, kuwari, bibigyan kayo nakakalito, OH sila pareho yung nagbe-bear. So, therefore, hindi na siya yung atom effect. Tapos, minsan, pareho din silang may resonance. So, hindi na siya resonance effect. Nagkakaiba minsan or madalas nagkakaiba dito sa inductive effect at dito sa orbital. So you need to assess guys in base of this aryo. Okay? So most of the time ito naman yung sinusunod natin aryo. So if you want to read more about acids and bases, I advise you to read this book. It's Klein. Ito. Klein D. Tapos that's 2017 Organic Chemistry. Chemistry. Tapos, eto siya, yung parang third edition. So, this is actually my favorite book, ano. So, if you're beginner in chem, ito kasing inaral kong libro bago ako naging parang parang before ako naging hasa sa pagbabasa ng mga chem or sa paggagawa ng organic reactions. It's always Klein. Kasi it's the most basic book. Okay? So, but I advise you to read this one. Again, guys, pag nagka-college tayo, guys, you can't exactly, well, this is just a, piece of advice, You can't exactly expect everyone to give you or to spoon feed you your lessons, So you need to do a lot of work on your own, which is again starts with your reading of your textbooks. So when you're dealing with organic chem, I advise you to read this one, si Klein. Diyan muna kayo mag-start. Pag magaling-galing na kayo sa org chem, like nagigets nyo na yung basic principles, hindi na kayo nalilito, you go now to either Smith or your Brewis. Brewis na libro. Okay? Si Paula Eucranis Brewis na organic chemistry. So, ayan siya. Ayan. So with that, do you have any questions, guys, before we end? By the way, this will be our last synchronous session. So don't forget to take your post exam this following days, ano. This will be our last synchronous session. Do you have any questions regarding chem? Like, G lang. Ayun, yeah, it was nice teaching you. It was nice then na to teach you guys, no? So I guess I see you around and probably malay nyo maging estudyante ko din kayo with some chemistry subjects. Okay? So, ayan. Do you have any questions, guys? Wala naman? Okay. So, if wala naman, I guess we can end it. Ay, sige. Yes, Gabriel? Ano yung question?
Sir, just out of curiosity, ilang chem subjects po meron sa speech pathology?
For speech path, hindi ko particularly alam, pero from my friends na nasa, like before, my friends na nasa uh, occupational therapy, I think wala ata silang chem. And so far, wala naman ako na-handle na speech path. So I think wala silang chem, or rather, integrated siguro yung chem nila sa ibang mga subjects. Well, you can check their website. As far as I know, every college naman has their curriculum, sample curriculum. So, you can check there. Pag wala siyang sinabing chem, so probably walang tinitake masyadong chem subjects sa ganong course. Ang usually naman na nagiging students namin, kasi most of colleges, they will, or you will take your chem courses here in the College of Arts and Sciences under the Department of Physical Sciences and Mathematics, yung DPSM, no? Yung department namin. So, usually namin nagtitake ng mga chem subjects ay mga public health, pharmacy, of course, your biology, biochemistry, applied physics, as well as computer science. So, meron silang mga chemistry subjects. Okay? So, ayun. Yan. So, do you have any further questions, guys? Na naman? Okay, so ayan. So again, thank you guys for attending our summer bridging program and I hope to see you all here in the campus So yeah, I guess naman. Maalala niyo naman siguro yung boses ko to some extent. Okay, sige. So with that, let's end our session here and thank you everyone again for attending our session. Good luck
Thank
with
you po,
college.
sir.
Okay, thank you.